I forgot to mention yesterday that one of the pacemakers in my group, his name, and I saw it on the back of his bib, was... Good morning. How's everyone doing out there? Oh man, I only slept 5 hours, but I slept really soundly. I woke up early because, first of all, this is the day after the Amsterdam Marathon race, and I can walk. This is good news. I can walk better than I expected. So, because I can walk, I'm gonna actually head out the door for either a half-mile jog or maybe 2 mile jog, or maybe even 2.5 to 3. I don't know. I'm just going to listen to the legs, see what they need to warm up so that I can come back to the hotel, stretch, and roll out really well. Tip of the day, really roll out and stretch well before your flight home. I'm flying home, taking the journey home to Denver, and yes, today's vlog is all about telling you exactly what my journey was in my first marathon, the Amsterdam Marathon. I'm going to go like detail the decisions that I made throughout the race and what happened when those decisions were made, challenges that popped up, major challenges that I won't get into right now. So I will just start by saying that my finishing time officially was 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 37 seconds. 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 37 seconds for my first marathon. And we will, again, break down all the splits and all that. All right, I'm out the door, and then we finish packing, and then off to the airport. All right, let's go. It's raining this morning. I guess I'll just tell you right now, the weather yesterday for the 44th edition of the Amsterdam Marathon was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. It was about 85% humidity, which I think is pretty typical for here in Amsterdam, but no rain, very little wind. It was really just ideal weather conditions for Amsterdam yesterday, just so you know. All right, here we go. I forgot to mention yesterday that one of the pacemakers in my group, his name, and I saw it on the back of his bib, was Michael Butter. Butter my bread. That's probably why my first half marathon was a little fast. I was just chasing the butter. Oh, and somebody pointed that out on Strava yesterday. So anyway, butter my bread, butter my bread. Absolutely amazing. Feels so much better now. Gonna go up to the room and immediately start foam rolling. Just incredible how much better I feel compared to 30 minutes ago. Oh my goodness. Okay. And we're back. Okay, time to foam roll in. First point as far as how the race went yesterday. Basically, I woke up 3.5 hours before the race, and I feel like that was perfect. Like, I didn't feel rushed at all. In fact, I had like 15-20 minutes to just relax on the bed, as you saw yesterday, and just like stay off my feet. I love staying off my feet before a race as much as possible. And then basically I made it to the starting area after my warm-up 40 to 45 minutes. So I was in the stadium about 40 minutes before the start of the race. And I was a little worried about getting a good position. Probably, it just was it's my first marathon, and so I just didn't know how challenging it would be with the crowd size and starting on a track to get a good spot on the track. Sure enough, I was right in the front of the citizens' corral, the white area, and then they dropped the rope about 2 minutes before the start, and we actually mingled right up with the elites. So I was right behind, it literally took me 1 to 2 seconds to get across the starting line after the elites went. So no problem there. I was right with the top people at the beginning. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. And by the way, this feels amazing. I am going to do my best to pack this foam roller. And away we go, everyone. Okay, just waiting for my ride outside the hotel, and real quick, the course for the Amsterdam Marathon is famous for being very flat. So my watch, and again, I don't know how accurate, it's the Polar Vantage V watch. I love the watch, but it told me 180 feet of elevation gain. So I've seen the race advertised at 150, but 180 is good. It's flat. It felt pretty flat, I must say. Now, this is my first road marathon, so compared to other road marathons, we'll just have to see for the future, but 180 feet. Okay, let's catch that ride to the airport. Whoa. Oh, not too bad. Okay, good. Better you than me. Let's see what we can find, shall we? Awesome, thank you. Oh, that was quite the journey to the gate. All right, let's break down a few more stats from the marathon. Oh, got the coffee, got some chocolate, waffles. Life is good. Life is good. I hope life is good wherever you're at, whatever you're doing today. And man, just stay positive. Stay positive. It's all about that mental attitude. This is a chocolate stroopwafel, choco stroopwafel. Okay, so here are some more stats from Amsterdam. Looks like my average mile pace was 5:27 a mile. As you know, I wanted to be at I needed to be at 5:17 a mile to get that 2:19, sub 2:19. According to Strava, you got to take everything with a little bit of grain of salt when data is transferred between different running apps, your watch to the app, then to Strava, but it says that the fastest mile split was 4:55, which looks like it took place at the 4-mile mark, which would make sense based on some effort that I was just the effort that I was putting forth. It looks like my max heart rate was at 191, and my average heart rate was at 163. And if you look at the graphs on Strava, pretty wild to see. Basically from the 21-mile mark to the finish, the last 5 miles, when it really started to hurt, my heart rate dropped tremendously. And that's why I think the average heart rate went down. I think when I was glancing at my watch, it was saying like 171, 172 heart rate when I was in the first half of the race, and I felt really good. Right about 171 was what I was getting. So that 162, I had nothing left in the tank as far as the legs are concerned and the quads. All right, there's a few more stats for you. Just let me make sure I'm not missing anything. My cadence, they're saying 95 steps a minute. That seems a little high, but again, I wasn't wearing a stride or a power meter on my shoe. It was just the watch data with respect to that, it seems a little high, but if that is the case, we'll take it. Listen, I'm 5'5.5", almost 5'6" as far as my height, and therefore my legs, they're not the longest legs on the starting line, which means, I gotta get the legs moving and turning over to keep up with Frank and Michael Butter and Abdi in that little group that I was in. I have to keep moving well. So, okay, what else? One last stat for you that I forgot is the power or the watts. If you are well versed in running data, I am not. You know that the watts is interesting and the power is interesting. Let's just say, according to the watch and Strava, I averaged 333 for my watts, and then my max power was 630. So anyway, for whatever, if you want to analyze that down in the comments, go for it. I'd appreciate it, actually. I ran out of time here in Amsterdam to get you the updates on the race. I'm on the airplane now. Obviously, I will get that to you in Toronto. All right, sound good? Here we go. We made it to Toronto on the fastest walkway of my life. We're going like 20 miles an hour here just walking. It's pretty sweet, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get you the update here in Toronto. Might have to wait for the studio. That's right. I'm running a little tight on time to catch my next flight. So love you, love you, love you. We'll see what happens on the other side of this palm on camera. And I made it home to Denver. Oh, the sun is setting. It's beautiful. I'm just waiting for True Love to pick me up. So I figure I'm gonna use my time wisely as I sit here and wait. So it's about 2 a.m. Amsterdam time, so if I look a little tired, a little haggard after all day of travel, that is why. All right, I've got notes from the race. Let's break it down right now for you. Okay, so the race starts. I'm in about a pack of 50 runners at the 800-meter mark, and then probably about a pack of 30 runners by the 1K mark. The elite men are already about, they're probably about 30, 40 meters ahead at this point. So they're in, I think there was, 15 to 20 runners in the elite men's field at the front. Granted, many of those runners were pacemakers. So we're cruising along, heading toward Vondel Park, and feeling good, feeling great, feeling excited, feeling fast in my 4%. Just having a great time. First of all, soaking up the crowds. Again, shout out to the locals of Amsterdam for coming out and cheering. The entire race, there were a couple sections where there was no cheering, but I'm telling you, I was beyond impressed with the support from the locals out there, like for real. Like big kudos in just random spots around the course where there was great fan support. So great job there. So we get into Vondel Park. I'm at about 3K and I hear chatter. I hear chatter around me. And I heard chatter at the starting line as well about different pacing that people were shooting for. So there's a breakaway, a small, but there is a breakaway group from the big pack of about 30 runners that I'm in, of like 6 to 7 guys that kind of take off a little bit. And so the big pack is at 5:20 pace. The pack that's taken off looks like they're at about 5:05 to 5:10 pace. And I had to make a decision, everyone. This is the question mark that a lot of people are wondering. Why did I go out so fast in the first half marathon? So I'm wondering if I overthought the basically running in a pack.
I think it's really critical for a marathon road race to be in a pack of runners. And in fact, the first half marathon of this race, of the Amsterdam Marathon 2019, it was so fun because I was in this group of 5 guys, but I'm telling you, I just sat in the back of them and they were breaking the headwind, even though there was no headwind, breaking the wind, the breeze for me, the air, and I could feel it. I could feel them pulling me along down the road. But they were running 5:05 pace, maybe 5:02 at certain points, and I was right at the back of the pack. I did not want to go into no man's land. So, little lesson learned. In retrospect, maybe I should have held back and sat in that pack. So remember, I was trying to break 2:19, which is 5:17 pace. And so when I started hearing chatter about people that want to break 2:20, that was their goal, so about 5:20 pace, I thought to myself mentally, oh boy, if I don't go now and catch up to this pack of 5 or 6 guys ahead of me, I'm going to end up in no man's land with no one around me, and I just did not want to do that, especially for my first marathon, and so I went for it. And that's kind of how I live life. I go for it. I take risks. That's what racing is all about in my books, is pushing yourself, finding how far you can go within your own ability. And I think I discovered that yesterday in Amsterdam, that my ability at this point at sea level racing on a flat course is not 5:05 a mile for 26 miles. Maybe for a half marathon. In fact, I think I proved that because I came through in 1:06:53 at the halfway point, but that's why I went out so fast. I did not want to be in no man's land. A little bit of lesson learned. Okay, another point I want to hit on real quick is the aid stations. Little bit of a disaster. Everyone. So the guys that I was in, this pack of 5 guys, 2 pacemakers, 2 elite runners, and then me. And so the elite runners had their own water bottles handed to them. I had my bottle on a table at the end of the row of the elite runners, and there was like 40 bottles on this table. It was a disaster, everyone. Trying to find my bottle while the elite, like these 2 guys I was trying to keep up with, they grab their bottle, they would put it back, and they keep running. I had to not stop completely, but I basically had to take out like 2 or 3 other bottles trying to find my bottle and then grab it and then go, and it was a little off to the side. Guys, I probably lost 3 or 4 seconds every aid station stop trying to find my bottle. It was really rough, and here's something not good at all, is that I couldn't find my bottle at the 21K mark, so the halfway point. I couldn't find it. And it had a gel. Remember, I had my gels at 10K, 20K, and 30K. I missed a gel at 20K. Did that impact me later in the race when I hit the really bad wall at about mile 21? I don't know. I would say it didn't help me mentally, that is for sure. So I'm hoping in the future that this time of like 2:23 gets me. I mean, obviously, if I would have broken 2:19, it would have really helped, but I'm hoping that 2:23 puts me in the discussion to have water bottles officially on better tables. Like it was insane. I'm telling you, my bottle was on a table with 40 other bottles, and I just had to go digging around at 5:20 pace, 5:15 pace, 5:10 pace, and try and find it as quick as I could. And then once I found it, go try and catch up to Frank and Michael Butter and all these guys in the group. So anyway, lesson learned there. Yes, I definitely hit the wall pretty bad at mile 20 to 21. I still had a shot. I was still kind of on pace. By mile 23, I was not giving up yet. I didn't give up. I mean, basically at mile 24 and a half, I knew that I had nothing left. I was completely spent. The elite women caught me, and kudos to the lady who won. It was her first, I think it was her debut marathon, and she ran 2:19 something. So anyway, kudos to her. I forget her name. I'll put it on the screen right now. And so basically lessons learned from, and you saw the clip there at the end, like and shout out to Chris for getting that clip. That was like 200 meters to go, basically. I mean, I had nothing done. And maybe if I would have gotten that gel. So anyway, lessons learned is that I know my pace. I definitely know my pace. I went out too fast. I didn't want to be in no man's land though. So I don't regret what I did, is the bottom line. Like I don't regret it. I don't live life like that. But now I know. Now I know. Fuel better. Pay attention to aid stations better. I'll save another story that happened at one of the aid stations for another time. And then, oh yeah, okay, everyone, I don't know what happened. My maybe this is typical. My quads were destroyed, completely destroyed. I don't know if I did not do enough training on pavement. Like it was really bad. I'm telling you, my legs hurt more in that road marathon more than a 50K ultra race on the trails with 3,000 feet of vertical gain. It was insane how painful. Like, look at my face right now. Like, I was in a lot of pain. So I got to figure out what happened, if I need to do a little more training on pavement. And the reason I did not is so that I could arrive at the starting line healthy, okay? So that was another lesson. And I think if I would have done better pacing, I think we would have probably got the job done of going under 2:19. Who knows? Who knows? Again, I don't regret what I did. I had a blast. I learned so much. And isn't that what this sport is all about? Learning as we go. So, question of the day, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned in a race that maybe did not pan out like you had hoped? Like, not a failure. I'm not putting this race in the failure category. I mean, 106.53, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm incredibly excited about that time. Very excited about 106.53. It gets me thinking about a lot of things for the future. So, all right, that's the question of the day. Hit it up down below. I love you all. Signing off from Denver International Airport. I made it home. We'll get true love in the family in the vlog tomorrow and the next day. Onward and upward, onward and upward. You guys are the best. All right. We'll toss it back to yesterday's race vlog and then toss it back to when I first started talking about Amsterdam a couple months ago on the right and then on the left. Love you all. Good to be home. Good to be back in altitude, I must say. All right, seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.